look, he gave his money, all of it, to the UN. No, he didn't. He made all his wealth tax-free, so you can have investments, profits, land, real estate, land grabbing, and then he gives a large portion of the new profit to the United Nations for eugenics programs. But the point is, they've used all sorts of schemes like that. I mean, I remember talking to top experts 10 years ago saying the elite are moving offshore. They're getting armored compounds in the British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, Switzerland, Cook Islands, New Zealand, Costa Rica. They're leaving. Enron's a dummy front company for money laundering. They've moved all the hundreds of billions out the back door. They're going to implode it. I told folks that 2 years before it happened. They laughed at me and said, "Oh my God, it's invincible. It's wonderful." And so they've done that with the thousands of trillions, 1.5 thousand trillion. So that's 1.5 quadrillion. And that's now mainstream news. We told you that a year ago. Now it's mainstream news. They're talking about at least 1,000 quadrillion. And they bought real assets with it. Now they're going to leave us all holding the bag. But we have to pay back all the fiat currency and fiat investment and fiat liquidity and credit that was given to the private bankers. And then we don't just have to pay that back and take it out of our hide as if we ever could. We have to pay them interest to give them our own money. And so what's happening with Bank of America, what's happening with Citibank, what's happening with all these people laying off, claiming they've had losses, is that you ever seen the movie Goodfellas? That's based on a lot of kind of a composite of mafia scams and classic things they do, where they go in, they tell the guy, "We're taking over your restaurant covertly." They steal all the booze out of the back. They don't pay any of the bills, any of the taxes. They run that for a few years, just running up all the bills, running scams, and then they finally burn down the restaurant. Well, we are now to the point of burning down the restaurant. That's all that's happening. They're now to the point of burning down the restaurant. And also, they don't need to have the retail side. If you look at Bank of America and Chase Manhattan and J.P. Morgan, Citibank, all these groups, or you look at Charles Schwab and the different brokerage houses, they're just laying off and getting rid of their retail low-level people and mid-level brokers for retail business. Retail banking is only a small part of overall global banking. You got institutional banking, governmental banking, investment. I mean, there's all these different classes, 3 big major classes, but there's subgroups. Well, it's just that the local retail banking, you keep your $1,000 savings, and deposit your paycheck in there. You keep your $20,000 savings or $100,000 savings, whatever. And see, before they wanted that retail money, that low-level money, even though it was a small piece of the pie, because they would then, for every dollar you put in the bank, they would loan out at least $10 for every dollar, fractional reserve banking. But in the late 90s, they got rid of some of the laws that restricted unlimited fractional reserve. So now they have $1, they loan out $1 trillion. I mean, they just don't care. It's no longer even tied to the basis of fractional reserve banking where they keep the multiple down so it doesn't tend to get out of control. They decided to just go for broke, blow everything out. So they don't need the retail banking anymore. And so that's why suddenly they're saying, you know what, you got to pay us to keep your $20,000 in our bank. You know what, we're going to charge you money to get money out of the bank's ATM. You know what, we're going to put all these fines and fees and regulations on you because we don't even care about you anymore. I mean, the people's money. They talk about all of the, quote, middle class and working class's savings being maybe $2 trillion, and the elite have got 1.5 quadrillion. So see, those were just vacuum cleaners to suck up all your wealth. They're done. In January of 2007, they announced the United States was a total debtor nation with a negative savings rate, defeating the previous record of the winter of 1933, the deepest part in our history. The worst straits was the winter of 1933, a negative savings rate. We surpassed that 2 years ago, it's accelerating, and as soon as we hit that deader point, they pulled the plug and started shutting down the subprime mortgage and started claiming that was the crisis, and then said, oh, give us a bailout, we'll fix that and get money flowing to you again. And then as soon as they did that, notice the day later they said, oh, it wasn't for subprime, that's not actually the problem. We're not going to tell you where the money went. Well, I'll tell you where it went, because they admit in other publications, and a piece here, a piece there, they're buying up infrastructure, they're buying up militaries, they're buying off politicians. Folks, this is a criminal, brutal heist. This is the real deal. All right, I'm on air now in 15 minutes. I got to run in there and get to work. I've been preparing since 6:30 this morning for the show, and it's game time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, God bless you. This is the Fifth Audio Blog, Infowars.com. Spread the word. The enemy is so overblown. The enemy is so arrogant. The enemy is so corrupt. The criminality they're engaged in is so off the charts huge. It's so bold, the chutzpah, that if we just speak up and point out that the emperor has no clothes, this thing will collapse. All right, that's it. We have a chance. We have a fighting chance. We don't have a choice. All you can do is fight back and speak out against this, or submit to it and let it run over you. And that's why they've got Obama trying to Svengali everybody and fool them into mass mind control, walking into the office here, so that while they're busy stealing everything and redistributing all the remaining wealth themselves and putting their Northcom military on the street grid in place, they need the people just fooled for 6, 7, 8 months to get this done, and then it'll all be in place, and they know people will wake up them, but it won't matter. This is so cold-blooded. How's it going, guys? Here in the office doing the audio blog over here. Jaron, how are you doing today? We're about 15 minutes
good.
Time.
Doing good. Is this getting posted?
Yeah, we're going to post it.
Nice.
What'd you think of the inauguration yesterday?
Hated it. Every second of it.
The
last president of the United States.
Was that not over the top, just like you were watching a Mao Zedong coronation?
Pretty military style, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm going to cover the speech today. I'm going to break down every facet of it.
Nice.
David, you got that stuff I sent you, right? The coronation. I'm going to play that and stop it second by second, analyzing every psych warfare attack, semantical profile, delivery system. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen.